Good morning, guys. Today I'm going to be taking you through a glute band workout. So what we're going to need is a loop band. We're going to be doing 4 supersets, and we're going to do each superset for 3 sets, 20 reps. And if it's a single leg movement, we're doing 20 reps on each leg. So get ready to have a little glute burn here and enjoy the workout. Like, comment, subscribe. And we do a little voiceover of the exercises here. So have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. Okay, so here is our first movement. You're going to bend your knees slightly and you're going to push your hips back just a little bit. And what we're going to do is some hip abductions. They're also half circles, you could call them as well. But I'm having that band right above the knee here, and I'm going to bring my leg away from my body in a circular motion. So I'm going to bring it out to the side there, and I'm going to activate that glute. Now, with my other leg there, what I'm doing is I'm going to try to keep my hip, heel, knee, and toe, everything facing forward throughout the entire movement. And notice I'm not putting too much weight on the leg that's moving. I'm just tapping my toe, trying to keep the tension in my glutes. So we're doing 20 reps on each side here. Okay, so this is a squat to calf raise. You're going to bring your legs a little bit wider than shoulder width apart here. You're going to lower yourself by keeping your heels on the ground. Notice I'm not going down super deep here. If I bend my knees too much in a squat, I feel too much quad activation, so I'm just trying to keep it in my glutes. That's why I'm not going down all the way. But after you do your squat, you're going to go right up into that calf raise where you lift the heels off the ground. Just make sure you take this movement as 2 separate movements, right? Do your squat first, then when you come up, then do your calf raise. Core is super tight, and if you're having a tough time with balance here, just go next to a wall and put a hand on the wall. So for the second superset, we're going to start off with a sumo squat. So for that sumo squat, you want to keep your legs wider than shoulder width apart, and you want to keep your heels in and your toes pointed out. As you're lowering yourself down, you're pushing your knees out. So you're going to get a lot of glute activation on this one. And this is because when you keep your legs so wide apart and you push your knees out to the side, you're doing a lot of hip external rotation, and the hips and glutes work together. So when those hips are rotated, you're going to get more glute activation. Okay, so for the next superset, you're going to find yourself a wall or a chair. We're going to go in with those glute kickbacks. So we're going to be working the upper glute here. Keep your legs just a hair wider than shoulder width apart, And make sure with that back leg that you're just lifting the toe up and down, right? You're not like placing your entire heel down. So just try to keep that tension in the upper glute. The movement's very small, but I promise it's very effective. So we're going to be doing 3 sets of 20 reps on each side here. Okay, this one's gonna burn. We're gonna do a close stance lunge. So notice that the band, again, I'm fixing the band and putting it right above my knee, but I'm showing you here that I'm gonna match my back knee to my front heel. All right, so that's how close you want this to be. One of the main reasons why I chose to do a close stance here was because we have the band on, so if we were to make this a super wide stance, the band would just ride all the way up. But you are going to get a lot of quad on this one because the closer the stance, the more quad you're going to get. But if you want to try to activate that glute just a little bit more, push your hips back and just lean a little bit more forward. And again, you're always pushing off the heel in the front. That toe in the back is barely doing any of the work. It's just there for the support and for the balance. Okay, so to superset that last movement, we're going to do good morning. So good morning is just a hip hinge. You're going to bring your legs a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, and you're going to push your hips back and then push your hips forward. If you want to get more hamstring, don't thrust your hips all the way forward. If you want to get more glute, then squeeze as hard as you can up at the top. Notice that my legs, I'm not bending and extending my knees, but I am keeping a relatively small bend there just to keep my knees more comfortable. And try to keep most of the weight on the heel. Keep your core super tight. That way you're not bothering your lower back with that hip hinge. Okay, so now we're getting on the floor. We're gonna go do a glute bridge. So you're gonna lay down all the way flat, keep your back pushed down up against the floor. You could do a little pelvic tilt here to start off your glute bridge. And then from there, what you're gonna do is you're gonna push your hips up. Make sure that you're leading with the hips and not the lower back. And with the legs, what we're gonna do is just a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, and you can point your toes out slightly. Since you do have the band on, make sure you keep that extra focus on trying to push your knees away from each other. We're going to go in with this one for 20 reps. Okay, so we're doing hip abductions in a glute bridge stance. You're going to bring your hips up in that glute bridge position, and then from there, you're going to push your knees out and in. When you bring them in, only bring them into shoulder width apart. You want to focus more on getting your knees further away from each other. We're going to do 20 reps here. Okay, so once you finish with all of your sets, you are all done. Thank you for joining me on today's workout. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.